He's a fortress to the max!
Hey! What's up, my peoples? EmGo here, the freaking geek himself, and today we will be reviewing the Printformers Fortress Maximus. So here we are, and there he is. And first and foremost, I would take a look at the packaging, but there is no official packaging. It's a 3D printed item, but here's the box that it was sent to me in. It's a fancy box. But that's basically it for the packaging. And moving right along, here we have Fortress Maximus, another impressive piece from Printformers here. And yes, this is a completely 3D printed figure, and this is Fort Max as he appeared in the old Marvel comics. And I have a little printout here that he sent me along with the figure, as you can kind of see what's going on there. So yeah, meant to resemble that look from the old comics. But yeah, here is Fort Max, and let's get in close here so we can take a look not at his belly, but at his noggin. There's the master of noggins. You can see, pretty nice. Simple head sculpt, as it was in the comics. You got the red visor. You do have options for the head, but I'll show that off a little bit later. You got some nice gray. You have a nice muted white Autobot symbol right there that you can print out if you want to. You got the reds and the blues, and the fists, and the crotch, and all that stuff there. The leg guns. For the most part, pretty good prints. Pretty good print. It's a smooth print. I mean, you can still see you can still see all the print lines, but it's a nice smooth print though. Looks quite good. But of course, you know, the print quality depends on you and your machine, how you have it dialed in and all that. But not too shabby. There you have that now, articulation-wise. The head is on a ball joint. You don't get too much wiggly-waggly just because his head is pretty just squared off there, but you do get some up and down. You can rotate the arms, can do a full 360. They can move in and out. You can shift the shoulder pad up if you want to get some extra range of movement there in those shoulders. You can totally do that. You do also have Bicep Rotation. You have a bit under 90 degrees of bend at the elbow, but if you extend the forearm, you see here, you get a double joint that exposes itself. You can get a bit more range of movement. This part gets in the way, but you can still get a pretty good elbow bend there, and that's a little clever piece of engineering that he worked in there. Also, these panels behind his arms are on a hinge. You can kind of move those back, get those out of the way if you need to. You do have waist rotation. The legs can be shifted down to give you that movement you need. So the legs can go, can go forward about that far, back about the same way. Of course, all this is just kind of friction together. So if you push on stuff, stuff will start coming apart. But outward, you can get pretty much the full splits. You have thigh rotation, which, oops, mushroom pig, it's undoing itself, but you got thigh rotation. You have 90 degrees of bend there at the knee, and you do actually feel kind of like thoops in there. So it's like he tried to work in kind of a ratchet joint mechanism in there, which is pretty cool. And the feet, they're on a ball joint. You get some up, you get a lot of down due to transformation, you have rotation, and you have ankle tiltage. Now, as far as accessories go, you have his gun right here, his big old blaster, which again, nicely designed. Looks pretty good. Again, this is a pretty good print here. Looks quite good in my opinion. You got the gun. You can store this on his back. You can see you have kind of a little hook deal going on here, and you have this little rail. You can just drop this down over the hook, and he can store that on his back, which is pretty cool. But of course, you can have him holding his gun. Just plug that into his hand like so. So you can pew pew bang bang, pew pew bang bang, and all of that good stuff right there. There is also his big old sword here. He sent me 2 versions of the sword. I'm not sure exactly what you'll get when you print out. When you purchase these files. I don't know what you get with those files, so I'm just showing you what he sent me. But you do get the sword here. This is one that's made up of 2 pieces. You got the red piece and black piece. This is a very nice print, although you can tell it did. You can tell he broke it and then glued it back together. That's how he sent it to me, but it's fine, it's fine. But just for the sake of showing it off, you can see there you have that version of the sword, and then you have just a single piece version of the sword. As you can see, this is a much rougher print. But again, you know, it depends on you and your machine, the print quality, so obviously you can make these things look a lot better if they are not up to your standards. Just up to you and how you have your machine dialed in, but there is also Posable Hands. You get a pair of those, and you got the thumb on a ball joint, and the index finger on a ball joint, and a hinge, and the other 3 fingers are just on a ball joint there. Now, these hands are not great at holding the weapons. They can hold them well enough if you get the fingers wrapped around them. I mean, they hold them fine, but as you can see, they wobble around. It's not the most solid grip. And same thing with the sword. You know, it can hold it well enough, but you know, it'll weeble wobble. I mean, if you just want to have it in a pose, that's fine, but just for, you know, general play, like, it's not going to hold it too securely. But you can swap those out. They just peg in. And just plug right in. Just plug it in, plug it in. Like so. You can give them some posable hands. Things you can do if you want to do it. Totally up to you. Those hands are a little stiffer there, but let's give him his weapons here. We'll give him his gun. Give him his big old sword. I'll give him this one. There you go. You can pew pew slash slash pew pew slash slash. And all of that good stuff right there. And he also sent me this box. What's in the box? What's in the box? It's a box of heads. He sent me a box of heads. But you can see here the different variations here that you could print out if you want to. And you have the visored version. You also have a non-visored version. Again, I don't know what you're going to get when you purchase the files. I'm just showing you what he sent me. But you can see you do have options here. As always, options are good. So there you have that, and now for comparison. Here he is with Printformers Scorponok. Actually, we'll leave him right here in the middle. And we'll bring in the Printformers Power Master Prime. So you can see the 3 Marvel comic inspired bots here, side by side. They look quite good together. Very cool looking figures. I'm not going to do any more comparisons because there's really no point. You can print this out at any scale you want. You can print it out small, you can print it out bigger, you can make them Titan-sized if your machine can accommodate it. This particular copy is 9 1/4 inches tall, but again, you can print this out at any scale you want. So, there you go. So that is basically it for the robot mode. So let's get down to transformation, shall we? Let's remove the weapons, put those off to the side, and get down to transforming. So first thing we want to do is just kind of straighten his arms out here, like so, and you're going to rotate them up. Just straighten out his arm there, just have it sitting flat against that panel, and just rotate the arm up. Then we're going to come back here, and we're going to raise up this little panel his head's on, because that holds this piece in place. Just bring that down, and then rotate this section 180. Then you want to take his head, and you want to rotate this 180. The head doesn't transform, by the way. He doesn't do the headmaster thing. You can swap the heads, but you can't transform the head. Rotate that around, and then the head will just drop right down into that opening, like so. So once you've done that, you are going to rotate the upper torso 180, and then rotate the waist 180. So you have that right there. So there you have the upper body all transformed, and now we move on to the legs. So we're going to come back here. These gray sections are going to slide up like that, and then you're going to bring the feet up and slide those up like so. And then you're just gonna lay them down. And this is pretty much his alt mode. This is pretty much it. It's accurate. Then you just come in here and you pull up the little guns. There's a little tab here you can get your fingernail on. There we go. Bring those up. And bring those up. And the last thing we're going to do is take the gun, and that will plug into this port right here on the side. Like so. And there you go. There is Fortress Maximus in his alt mode. So, there you go. And this is the Fortress Maximus ship mode. Just him, basically just laying down. I mean, it's what he does. And in the comics, he wasn't a base former. Him and Scorponok weren't base formers. They were the same size as Prime. So yeah, that's pretty much his ship mode. And just to show you again, here's a little printout that he sent me. You can see Prime and Blaster just kind of riding him there like a surfboard on the Caribbean Sea. There you go. That's pretty much how Fort Max worked in the old comics. So yeah, now let's get in close here so we can take a look at some of the details. I mean, granted, a lot of it we've already seen in the robot mode, but we do have this new tower section here with the nice green there. That really pops. Love the way that looks. But yeah, a lot of what we've already seen. We got the ramps here. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's Fortress Maximus's alt mode. I mean, it is what it is. It was never all that elaborate in the first place, so hey, pretty accurate. Now he did work in kind of a base mode, kind of, sorta, if you want to call it that. But basically, what you do is you rotate this around, and you just take his legs. Again, you have to bring them down so you can rotate them up, and do be careful because if you come down too far, you can see that little crotch piece will start to come undone. Again, this is all 3D printed, so it's just kind of friction together, but you can glue all this stuff in as well. But just kind of bring this back so you can rotate the legs up like so. And oops, that piece came off. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Again, it's 3D printed. You can secure all that. But that's pretty much the base mode that he kind of tried to work in there. I mean, hey, it's something. It's a thing you can do if you want to do it. If you really need him to have a base mode of some kind, it's not very stable. You can see it kind of leans back though. But yeah, no, hey, it's something. It's something. Maybe you can figure out some other way to do it. So there you go. So there you have the Printformers Fortress Maximus, and yeah, another really cool design here. And as I said earlier in the review, the print quality is totally up to you and your machine. The scale is totally up to you and what your machine can accommodate. But all in all, a really cool design here. So if you're into that Marvel Comics aesthetic, here it is. Here it is for you. So there you go. Now you can purchase these files to print directly from the Printformers Etsy shop, and I'll put a link to that site in the description down below for you to check out. And of course, for all your other Transformers needs, you can always check out BigBadToyStore.com, as always linked in the description down below, so you can check that out as well. And I think that's it, so don't forget to check out EmGo's, check out Love Peace Paranormal, follow me on Twitter, all of that good stuff down in the description below, and I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So, there is the Printformers Fortress Maximus, and this is EmGo saying, remember, you don't stop playing because you grow old because you stop playing. Be geek, be proud, boom in your face. Oh, Fortress Maximus, I remember you being taller. Yeah, and I remember you being smarter. I remember your head not being so big. Dude, seriously? Yeah, well, at least my head can't run away from home.